Hello to you, maestro. Actually, that's our first interview with the conductor. It's recording?
So I look at her, or I look there. You look at her.
Yeah. You know, it's such a beautiful music, and I really enjoyed the first act. It's my first time watching this opera, to be very honest. And you know, it's the music. It's so elegant and it flows. And how do you think? How do you interpret this music? How do you manage to do the first act?
So it is true, it's very refined, elegant, suspended, which is very French in a way. You know, this very watery, I'd say, melodic lines, suspended, but it has, I think, also a lot of spark and rhythmical and drama push in the choral parts. Yes, so it's not true that it's just maybe someone would think that it's a very contemplative or meditative music sometimes, because the two highlights are the duet between the tenor and the baritone, which is quite suspended, and then the aria of Nadir before the end of Act 1. And again, it has this kind of suspended and very fragile and simple quality. But I'd say it's a very complete opera, I think, and I'm Italian, so I have to say it. It's not because I'm Italian that I want to say it, but Bizet was 25 when he composed this, and it was his first very important commission by an opera company in Paris, and his first long commission because the opera in 3 acts. And he just came back from 4 years in Italy because he won the Grand Prix de Rome. It was an award for young composer, and the prize was also to have the opportunity to live in Roma. So he came back after these 4 years, listening to a lot of Italian opera and style. So I'd say there is a lot of Italy into this opera, and this is why after the first 20 representation in Paris, this opera was stolen by Italy, and it was represented for 60 years in Italy because singers love to sing it. It's very particular because, of course, the chorus is very prominent, but then the three main singers, it's all based on them, basically. And there is a lot to sing, and there's a lot of beautiful tunes to sing. And so I think with the great singers at the time, especially Italians, they took this opera, and even when this opera went to the Metropolitan Opera or to Royal Opera House Covent Garden, it was sung in Italian. Mm-hmm. So it is a little bit of an Italian opera.
Like everywhere.
Yes. No, but we share with France this culture of bel canto, the beauty of the line itself, and this horizontal writing and the elasticity of the phrase, creating the nuance of even not ritenutos and where to breathe and to just find the beauty of the construction of the melodic arch.
Yeah, you know, I hear this bel canto style of your conducting because I think it sounds so brilliant, you know, with all of these ornaments, and I think it's very, very beautiful. And when you conduct, do you mostly in this opera think about how would orchestra sound or how would singers?
No, well, we try to combine always the sound in the pit together with the voice of the singer. Of course, that's the art of being an opera conductor. And many conductors, even famous, they just decided to conduct Wagner, Strauss, or even Puccini, more symphonic in a way. Mm-hmm. With the symphonic depths in the pit also, but you really need to be dedicated to the voice and love the voice if you conduct a repertoire like Le Pêcheur de Perles or Bellini, Donizetti, even all the first Primo Verdi, we say, until the end of La Trilogia Popolare, so until Trovatore. So I think it's another way of thinking the conducting. Sometimes you just invite the orchestra to listen the stage, and the orchestra must change the sound on the voices. So if the answer to your question is, if I think about the sound of the orchestra, no, I'd like to think about it's like a chamber music experience enlarged. Yes, and it helps. It is my first time here at the Wiener Staatsoper, and it's fascinating that they are basically are keeping the height of the pit like Gustav Mahler wanted at the beginning of the 20th century. And the advantage of it is that all the musicians are in direct contact with the stage, also with the eyes and with the ears. It's like the continuation of the orchestra stalls. So, of course, the danger is that the orchestra will be too loud. Yeah, but if you just invite, then I mean, these musicians, they can do whatever they want, whatever you want. So the sky is the limit, in a way. But yeah, it requires, I'd say, a lot of patience and love for the voice and for the simplicity, because of course in this house they're used also to listen to all the Strauss, Richard Strauss, all the most complicated music, and that is very exciting to play. It's not necessarily exciting to play this repertoire. No, it's true. But again, it's opera, and opera started with this relation between voice and orchestra. So it's important to not lose it, and I'm very happy 3 or 4 times a year in every season to swim into this simplicity. That is also very tricky because it's always very exposed, but I do believe it's beautiful music. It has wonderful moments, and I think it deserves to be in one of the best opera houses in the world in the repertoire. So here we are.
Thank you so much, dear maestro. It is such a pleasure to hear how you love this music and the classical music itself. And the one last question I would like to ask you, as a famous conductor, what would you suggest to just a 16-year-old musician? I don't know, just love music and work for the music, and don't work for other reasons. The main reason to dedicate your life, if you think that this is gonna be your life, is really work on yourself, and there will arrive a moment where you become master of yourself, because of course teachers or close friends with the years they will tell you some suggestions, something, but at the end of the day, it's like a journey that you make with the music and with yourself. So you need to keep the right focus, yes, from the very beginning until the end, not to be distracted by, social media, even the success or not success, and then frustrations because maybe the career doesn't start when you want it to start. There are many difficulties on the road, but if you keep the fire inside you always big, and you study and you dedicate your life for the right reasons, then there's hope that it will be a good life, full of passion. Thank you so much.
Music and spiritual rewards. Okay.
Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao.